The Metro series, a fantastic video game trilogy, described by many as probably the most underrated game series out there, tells a story about a very grim and monster-riddled post-nuclear Moscow and its metro system, where the last few survivors struggle to stay alive and somehow cope with the horrors they encounter on a daily basis. Other than horrible mutations that roam the surface and want to murder the handful of survivors of the nuclear apocalypse, there are also two extremist political parties that are constantly at each other's throats, so things never get boring in post-nuclear war Moscow. You can tell that the games are realistic, because even despite nuclear warfare, radiation, shortages in food and water, and literal monsters that hunt survivors down as soon as they leave the metro stations, people still find reasons to murder each other over their political beliefs. Good to see that some things never change. Hey friends, and welcome. In this video we'll figure out what the rarest achievement in the entire Metro series is. To do so, we look at the rarest achievement of each individual title, then compare them to each other and rank them from the most commonly achieved to the least commonly achieved, so we can eventually figure out the rarest achievement in all of the Metro series. Note that we'll be looking at the first version of each game that came with integrated achievements, meaning that we'll look only at the Redux version of Metro 2033 and not Last Light. We also won't include any of the DLC and just look at the achievements that came included in the base game. And since this is a very small channel, I'd love for you to like and subscribe if you enjoy the video. It helps me incredibly much and would be very much appreciated. So, with all that said, let's jump right into the video. Metro 2033 Redux is the remaster of the first part of the trilogy. It shows the beginnings of Artyom's story, which will expand over the next two parts as well. In Metro 2033, you get to see post-nuclear Moscow, its metro system, and its friendly inhabitants for the first time. The story kicks off with Artyom and his companions facing yet another immense threat next to mutated beings and wicked humans, the Dark Ones. Setting out to confront this new threat, Artyom soon finds himself in the middle of near-endless deadly situations and must somehow make it out alive, while also resolving a conflict with the Dark Ones. Next to a fantastic story and beautiful graphics for the time when the game originally released, the game was also complimented for its pacing and environmental design. It is worth noting that you should go for the Redux version if you choose to play the game. Not only can you earn achievements and trophies in this version of the game, it is basically a remaster and irons out some problems with the original game. The rarest achievement in all of Metro 2033 Redux is called Weaponsmith, requiring you to kill at least one enemy with each available weapon in the game. Now, there's 18 weapons in the game, spanning from a regular revolver to a flamethrower. And given the fact that ammunition is the tool for dealing with unpleasant beings as well as the currency in this game, you must think very well about how you plan your encounters, since resolving a conflict guns blazing may mean that later on you find yourself looking at a gun you like when trading with a merchant but can no longer afford it. However you decide to do it and what your strategy is. You not only need to kill at least one enemy with each weapon, but must also find all of the weapons first. While some of them are being given to you, others can be found while exploring the radiated topside or must be purchased from very specific vendors. No matter how you pull it off. Unless you give your enemies a taste from each weapon in the game, you won't unlock the Weaponsmith trophy, which is the rarest one in Metro 2033 Redux. Metro Last Light is a direct sequel to Metro 2033, and while there's also a Redux version for this game, we will look at the original version since it came out with implemented trophies and achievements already. Like in the last part of the game, you take control of Artyom, who is trying to make up for terrible events that happened in the first part of the trilogy. You are once again faced with a terrifying variety of mutants and more than just a handful of equally dangerous humans. The sequel received generally very positive feedback and reviews for players and critics alike. It was complimented on its carefully crafted environments, survival aspects, and the overall thrilling experience the game offers. The rarest achievement in this title of the series is called Shadow Ranger, requiring you to beat the game without killing a single human unless you're forced to. The difficulty with this achievement being that there are some encounters in which you are forced to kill, and there being countless opinions and posts out there arguing about what exactly is understood as a forced kill and what is not. And even though I sadly haven't had the time to play any of the Metro games yet, as a general rule of thumb, always avoid going out of the way of what the achievement description implies, unless it's evidently confirmed that it is fine to do so. To add insult to injury, while this achievement asks you to not kill any human at all, there's also another one that asks you to do the exact opposite, requiring you to not just kill one, but 100 enemies, making sure that the player has to play through the game multiple times rather than just once. To earn the rarest achievement in Metro Last Light, you must practice your people skills to the absolute maximum and keep those guns and tools in their holsters. Only then will you be rewarded with the Shadow Ranger achievement. The latest entry in the Metro series, Metro Exodus, is another direct sequel to its predecessor, Metro Last Light. The protagonist Artyom, who has been our hero for the last two games, is back once more, leaving the Spartan Order and going on very dangerous adventures to prove his theory that there are indeed other humans out there, rather than just the charming people you've come to know during your previous explorations of the surface and the metro systems of Moscow. The third part of the series earned great reviews once again and was praised for its compelling story, vast world, and great gameplay. When it comes to achievements, the rarest one in Metro Metro Exodus is fittingly called Hardcore. In Hardcore, the supplies you find are even more scarce, and the many dangers you encounter in the radioactive wasteland hit even harder, making the already suspenseful world of Metro even more nerve-wracking. If you want to earn the rarest achievement in the newest part of the Metro series, you must become as efficient as possible and land headshots or sneak attacks over and over, not giving anything a chance to take you down, while also being extremely efficient with your ammunition. Best of luck to you if you're daring enough to take this difficulty on. So friends, now that we've talked about each of the individual entries and their respective rarest achievements, let's rank them by rarity and find out which one is the actual rarest achievement in all of the Metro series. Remember that we are sorting them from most to least common and will therefore eventually end up with the rarest achievement in all of the Metro series. Earning the Bronze Medal with an already ultra-rare completion rate of just 2.6%, the Weaponsmith achievement in Metro 2033 Redux takes the third spot in the list. You can just tell that the Metro games are hardcore when the list kicks off with such a low completion rate. Whether it is due to the fact that it's hard to set aside enough money or rather ammunition to purchase all the weapons, or most players just not feeling like trying out every single weapon in the game and rather just sticking to one trusted sidearm, Weaponsmith has an ultra-rare completion rate despite being only the third rank on the list. To make this achievement possible, it is extremely important that you avoid combat when not necessary and save all of your currency for purchasing weapons rather than blowing monsters' lights out. Also make sure to scavenge whatever or whoever you can find on the surface and sell what is not necessary to you and the way you approach the game. Another good idea is to keep tabs on the weapons that you've already used to kill off monsters or humans, just to make sure that you don't forget one. Careful planning, knowing what's waiting for you in the game, and when not to miss a unique possibility to purchase an exclusive weapon is what it takes to beat this challenge, and not miss out on an ultra rare achievement. So ready those weapons, get your game plan ready, and go get that Weaponsmith achievement. At rank 2 we have the Hardcore achievement you can find in Metro Exodus, the newest part of the series, with a completion rate of just 1.5%. Making people beat the game on the hardest difficulty when just the normal mode in Metro games is enough to shock any non-veteran or hardcore FPS player to their core is definitely quite a challenge and justifies the very low completion rate. With the Metro series being FPS games, it may be possible that most people who pick them up are just not used to the fact that ammunition and supplies are so rare to find and get punished for the guns blazing approach they usually go with in other games of the same genre. Whatever the reason might be, it is recommended not to go for this difficulty mode and rather first get familiar with the environment, enemies, gameplay and general expectations the game holds for you. Honing your skills by taking out mutants and horrible humans alike with the least effort and highest efficiency possible is your key to succeed and eventually beat the horror that is within the hardcore difficulty. Whether you're a Metro veteran, amazingly skilled player or just too stubborn to take on an additional playthrough, you have absolutely earned my respect if you beat the hardest difficulty in Metro Exodus and rightfully unlock the ultra rare hardcore achievement, and therefore the second rarest achievement in the entire Metro series is yours. The middle child of the series, Metro Last Light, takes the first spot on this list and therefore holds the absolutely rarest achievement in the entire series. Not killing any human NPC, unless you're absolutely forced to, will earn you the Shadow Ranger achievement, with a completion rate of 1.1%. Relatively unclear rules as to when it's truly forced on you to kill a human NPC or not, a cluster of contradicting opinions on the internet, and the fact that it's extremely frustrating to not be able to fire back, plus the additional playthrough you'll have to do since there's also an achievement for killing over 100 human NPCs, definitely makes this achievement a worthy number 1 and rightfully gives it the ultra rare status. I cannot give you the most reliable tips since I haven't beaten this achievement myself yet, but when faced with achievements that have such unclear conditions, it is best to search out one specific guide that is genuinely well received and just stick to it. No matter if there are some users that tell you it's totally okay to take a shortcut here or there. As tempting as it is, only if you do your absolute best to avoid killing any human that crosses your path will you unlock the Shadow Ranger achievement and the rarest one in the entire Metro series, which will make the other necessary playthrough where you can just mow down every annoying human that crosses you so much more satisfying. Congratulations to the very few players who are part of the 1.1% that earned this achievement. You've completed an extremely rare feat and have earned the rarest and arguably hardest achievement in all of the Metro series, which isn't exactly known for going easy on their players. Great job. So friends, we've come to the end of the video and I want to honestly thank you if you've watched this far. Please leave a like and a subscription if you enjoyed the content. This video was suggested by Jokesy, who is an amazingly friendly dude and has been watching my videos and leaving lovely comments all over. And just like him, if you're curious about any video game series you enjoy and want to see them in this format, feel absolutely free to leave a comment telling me what you'd like to see next. So far, we got videos about the rarest achievement in Resident Evil, Bioshock and the Assassin's Creed series, which you can check out in the playlist right here. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time my friends. Be well.